Hello everyone and welcome to the Freestyle Chess Grand Slam final. We have a very nice game between Magnus Carlsen and Fabiano Caruana. The two rapid games ended by both players taking a win. First, Fabiano won in game 1, then Magnus retaliated in game 2, forced tie breaks, and then Magnus won the first game of the tie breaks. As you can see, this is the Blitz section now. 5 minutes on the clock, and Fabi now needs a win with the black pieces in order to force further tie breaks. So let's check it out. And see what happens. Magnus with white opens with pawn to e4. And it's a pretty interesting setup where you have the rooks where they would be in regular chess, but then you have the bishops in the middle, the knights next to the bishops, and then the king and queen. So it's almost as regular chess, but with pieces being on different squares. Yeah. Pawn to e5, we have pawn to f3, freeing up the queen and the dark square bishop, so it's pretty much always the same principles. We have knight e6, knight e3, an excellent square for the knight for the both of them. We have d6 and pawn to c3. Preparing to strike in the center with d4, we have a5, you never know when that b4 could be a problem, and a4, stopping pawn to b5 anytime soon. We have knight to b6 and bishop to c2. Still, you have to develop the bishop, get the queen to d1, and then execute pawn to d4. We have pawn to f6, bishop to f2, bishop to f7, and queen to d1, and now you are ready to strike with the d4. And if your intention is to castle king side, then the king goes all the way there. If it's the castle queen side, then no problem there, but chances are you're not castling queen side. We have queen to e8, Fabi going after that a4 pawn, but it is for the moment sufficiently defended, so not really. We have pawn to d4 and pawn to c6. Could be played if you're worried about pawn to d5, but Fabi's not worried. And Magnus even less, because he only needs a draw and he wins the match. Not just the match, but if he doesn't lose this game to Fabi, he wins the entire event, the entire Grand Slam, as he already would have enough points to win the entire thing. He still plays the tournament. We're only in the quarterfinal, but he would already win the entire Freestyle Chess Grand Slam final. So d4, we have queen to d7, and okay, Magnus plays it. Fabi did not stop it. We have d5, knight to f4, and pawn to h4. And this is a very, very important move, a crucial one, if you will. And you'll understand it better after you see what happens later on. And you'll see just how clairvoyant Magnus Carlsen is in his, daily chess bidding, as g3 is a move that anyone would play here. Why not kick away the knight? But h4 is so important to include, and you will see why. We have pawn to c6, g3. Now that h4 has been included, we have knight to h5, and pawn to c4. Okay, just grabbing more spacing. You have to win, Fabi. I don't have to push for anything. We have bishop to c7 and knight to d3. Okay, we have c captures on d5, c captures on d5, and now Fabi castles kingside. We have castles kingside, and okay, the pawn's already there. It's time to advance them. And now pawn to g4, where the pawn is already on h4, and you are ready to push further. We have knight to f4. Now comes knight captures on f4, e captures on f4, and now knight back to g2, attacking the pawn. And another reason why h4 is so important, because now you don't have g5 to cement that pawn on f4. Magnus would just trade and play e5, and that's it. You resign. First you lose on h7, then you get checkmated, or you stop that, and then you get hit with e6. So there's no way to play this anymore. So after knight g2, we have knight to c4. Fabi says, all right, whatever happens, happens. I have to go after the white king. And Magnus just plays knight captures on f4. We have pawn to b5. Bishop to d3. Now, as the pawn is stuck guarding the knight, we have rook 8 to b8 and queen to e2. Queen to e7 by Fabi, and a captures on b5, removing the defender of the knight. Fabi now below the 1 minute mark, and Magnus on 1 minute and 20 seconds. We have knight to e5, putting pressure on the bishop, just bishop back to c2. We have rook f to c8, and now, believe it or not, Magnus can still castle kingside, but he doesn't. He just plays rook h to c1, keeping the king on b1, and this is just, not something you see every day. It seems like black, the one is attacking, and that the white king is seriously misplaced. I mean, why wouldn't you have the king on g1 if you could? But Magnus says no, the king is perfectly fine here, and he cannot be more correct. We have bishop to d8, opens up the c file for Fabi's rook, bishop to d4, and now bishop to e8, going after the b5 pawn, and bishop to a4 looks like a bit of an unnecessary move, but now everything is sufficiently defended, and Fabi doesn't have anything here against Magnus's king. We have rook captures on c1, king captures, queen to b7, but now just king to b1. Magnus says, all right, you can have it if you want, and it's even the best move to capture the pawn, but it's even if you capture, it's not enough. Once you trade everything, captures, captures, and captures, rook a3 defends the pawn. Magnus is up a pawn, and yeah, Fabi cannot win this game. So after king b1, Fabi has to look for more. He plays bishop to b6. We have bishop to c3 and rook to c8. We have bishop captures on e5, f captures on e5, knight e6. Now looking for some checkmating threats on the king side. Bishop to d7, and now even rook to a3. We have rook to e8, ready to capture on e6, but Magnus tricks him very nicely, plays rook to c3. And the question is, why wouldn't you capture? Well, if you capture, then this is met with bishop to b3, and you lose more material. So that's not happening. We have queen to b8 by Fabi, queen to c2, and rook to e7. We have king to a2, and now h6, creating some breathing room for the black king. Again, if you capture, then after everything gets traded off, bishop to b3 is again winning. So pawn to g5 by Magnus, h captures, and now queen to e8. Triple threat on e6, also putting pressure on the b5 pawn. But Magnus just goes queen to h2, saying you can have the pawn if you want, but if bishop captures on b5, then you can just capture. And if queen captures on b5, then pawn to g6, and that's it. There's no stopping checkmate. You do have one check, but it's maybe even more. King to b1, you have queen d1 check, the rook blocks, rook to c1, queen to d3, and then king to a1, no more checks, or rather no more useful checks. We're not going to discuss queen a3, and now you're getting checkmated. So after queen to h2, queen to g6 was played. He has to stop that pawn to g6, and now look at this. Queen back to c2. You might be thinking, why? Everything is defended. Well, not everything. Queen to f7, and now rook to c6. Just threatening the bishop and saying, okay, I mean, whatever you play, it's game over. Bishop captures on c6 because, for the lack of a better move, queen captures on c6, and now bishop to d4, dreaming of something like somehow this happening, but that's not happening. Queen captures on d6, Magnus grabs a pawn, we have rook to b7, and now Magnus finishes it off with a beautiful queen to d8 check, and he was in this position on move 43 that Fabiano Caruana resigned the game, as there is nothing more to be done here. Once you reply to this check, your only move is king h7 if you're not gonna part with the queen right away, and then this is met with the g6 check. And whatever you do, if queen captures, knight f8 comes with a royal fork, and if king captures, it's also a royal fork, but you have to set it up first. Queen to g5 check, king h7, queen to h4 check, king to g8, and now queen back to d8 with check, king h7, and knight to g5, again with a beautiful royal fork. So yeah, Magnus wins the quarterfinal match against Fabiano Caruana. He proceeds to the semifinals, and like I said, with this victory, Magnus Carlsen has won the Freestyle Chess Grand Slam Tour, and he has won the prize fund of $100,000. But still, the prize fund for winning first place in this particular event is $200,000. So he can also win that, and chances are he will, as he most often does. But yeah, I'm gonna spoil some of the other games as well. So if you're not ready for that, stop watching, because I might cover those as well. But yeah, here are the results of the other games, as you can see. So Parham lost to Javokir Sindarov. Parham had a terrible event yesterday. He lost all 7 games, and now he lost both games against Javokir. Magnus Carlsen defeated Fabiano Caruana. Vincent Keimer defeated Arjun Ergaisi in the rapid time format, and Levon Aronian defeated Hans Niemann also in the tiebreaks. The 2 rapid games were drawn, and then Levon won both of the games in the blitz section. So tomorrow we will have Magnus Carlsen facing Javokir Sindarov. Magnus will have a chance for his revenge, as Javokir has defeated him in the preliminaries. Parham will face Fabiano, Levon will face Vincent, and Arjun will face Hans Niemann. So we'll see what happens and who qualifies for the final, or the Freestyle Chess Grand Slam final event. So yeah, that's the game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Brilliant stuff from Magnus. As usual, Fabi almost had him in the rapid, then he won the second game, won the third game, and now won the fourth game. So in the end, 3-1 for Magnus. Yeah, that's just how strong Magnus is. You can be this close, but it doesn't matter. So I really hope you enjoyed it. I would like to thank Nicolas Rivard, Eddie Sphere, Brian Pratt, David Gasparian, and Timothy Roson for your contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot. I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon, continuing to check up on your wonderful suggestions and whatever else happens in the chess world. Thank you all. I will see you soon, and have an excellent rest of your day.